I received some questions about cryptocurrency, and I will tell you what I always tell everyone. And that's first of all to do your own research. Second of all, this is not financial advice, but let me just tell you about my history and what I know about cryptocurrency. I've always been fascinated by currency and about the economy and how this system works, and also in physics. And I know that Bitcoin and physics are very related, but not a lot of people that study physics are also interested in currency. But I think if you see the connection, you understand that Bitcoin is the physics of gold, but digital. It's a perfect system. It really is. But you have to read into it. You have to study it in order to understand that. And the first time that I heard about Bitcoin was from a friend. And in that time, I was studying different things. And the guy who told me, he wasn't very financially responsible. So when he told me, I kind of ignored it. And then the second time when he told me, I ignored it again. And then the third time, which was much later, he actually showed me his portfolio. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should do some research. And what I found back in the days was amazing, fascinating. And I was instantly in love with Bitcoin. And then I started investing and then trading. I made many, many, many mistakes. And I started investing in other projects. And sometimes things went well and sometimes didn't go so well. But it was an adventure, and I think I learned a lot from it, because you learn how to deal with your emotions. You learn how it all works. You just learn a lot about these projects, a lot about people, about psychology. And so back to the advice, I would always recommend, when you start with cryptocurrency, to invest in Bitcoin. The reason for this is because it's a very volatile market, and it's like wild, wild west still. It's there are a lot of scammers out there. There's not a lot of safety, and it's very easy to make big mistakes. So, and you will make mistakes, and that's not a bad thing, because from mistakes you learn. But so that's why I always tell everyone, just start really small and safe, and then slowly experiment and try new things and study it. And personally, I stopped trading altogether for a while now to focus on different things. And mainly because it takes a lot of mental energy, Because when I want to do something, I want to do it good. For me, it doesn't make sense to invest and trade and just not study well, not because that's just a recipe for failure, for losing money. Also, I don't think that cryptocurrency will take over fiat money. I do think that we will go from fiat to a digital currency, because there are a lot of people who benefit from the system as it is, and they won't allow to completely change to a completely different system. And there are so many benefits to a digital currency. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's more transparent. And with the fiat money, the system as it is, it's just not. It's not a full. It's not a full machine. It's not a full cycle. It's not. You can compare it like to a really old, crappy car. When you like drive it, it just like it it it's costing a lot of money, and it's breaking down, and it's like it's old, and you have to like renew the car sometimes, and to renew the car, it involves a lot of big investment, a lot of energy, and yeah, it's just better to just get a whole new system, and if you look at the physics of it, if you look at the new system, it's too good for us not to go there. But a lot of people will be very against this. And why? It's because there is a lot of, in the current system, there are a lot of shadows, a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, behind the veil, behind the curtain. And the people who benefit from that naturally don't want to change. There's always a lot of resistance when there's a new system. And you can, a lot of people, they are like, oh, but these bad bankers or central banks or governments. But what those people don't realize is that we are the government. We are the bank. They're human beings. We are human beings. When enough of us wake up, when enough of us see the benefit, it will naturally change. It's just how it is. And what will happen is that when the new system is here, the amount of shadow will be much more visible. And it's not as if it increases, because it's already happening, but it's just visible. It's as if you turn on the light in your basement, and you haven't been there in years, and there are these spider webs, and there is this dust everywhere. And it will just be more visible, will be more clear. And obviously there will be people against that too, that benefit from those webs, from the dust. And when that happens, it will change again. Because we can do so much better as humanity, when we finally see that we have enough, we are abundant, and it is a reflection. Everything outside of us is a reflection of what is happening within. So yeah, I do see a very bright future. It's just that we need to start healing ourselves, because if we don't heal ourselves, if we keep having this limited perspective, if we keep looking at things, it's very easy to lose yourself. It's very easy to lose yourself when you have a limited identity, when you disconnect from your source, from your inner presence, you won't have the clarity, It's like you look at something and you'll just see this one thing, when you look at these systems, or if you look at these shadows, it's easy to get scared and be like, oh, it's unfair because they are doing something to me. But once you see the oneness of it, once you zoom out of who you think you are, you'll be fine. You can look at these things without having this reaction to it. Instead of reacting, you'll create. You'll just be. And it's difficult. It's difficult because something inside of you will resist to become this creator, to become powerful, to become peaceful. But I invite you to look at it. Don't judge it. That voice that wants to resist, that wants to keep you comfortable, because it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to heal these things inside of you. It's uncomfortable to, when when I say this, turning on the light in the basement, that's also what happens when you work on yourself. Because when you start looking within, you start healing, you'll see all the spider webs, you'll see the dust inside of you. And in the beginning, it will be very scary and it will be overwhelming. But when you come back to that presence, to that awareness, when you come back to yourself, to oneness, you'll happily do it. You'll start doing the work. And then the more you do that, the more you clear that up, the more you expand, because you have the basement. You not only live in your house, you'll have an extra room. You have the basement. And then once you clear it up, you might think you're done, but then you'll discover that there is an elevator there. And then you'll discover that there are over 1,000 floors. And then you'll discover those rooms. And then when you get to a new room, you'll see that there's dust all over in that other floor. And then when you enter that new floor, that new room, you'll discover a window. And then you'll start seeing other things. And that's what happens when you awaken. And I know it's very overwhelming, it's very scary in the beginning. And then people will tell you, what happened to you? What happened to you? Did you lose your mind? And then in the beginning, you will say, yes, I might be losing my mind. There is this book that I once read. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And tells this story about the richest man in Babylon and how he kept investing a little bit of what he made, always a little bit, put it to the side. Eventually, that money started working for him. And when you put this type of thinking in your system, it will grow and grow and grow. But for a lot of you, the person that you think you are will resist that because they will think, no, I cannot miss this money. I need everything. I'm struggling. And it will feel comfortable in the struggling. And even though intellectually you'll think, no, I don't want to struggle. I want to be abundant. You have to change the relationship with you, the relationship with money. So that means who you think you are should die. But it doesn't want to die. It will fight it. It will hold on. It's like, no, I don't want to die. And that also happens when you awaken. Your ego will fight. Your nervous system will try to keep you safe. But it's small steps. change the way you look at money. A lot of you think money is the root of all evil. And if you truly believe that, or even subconsciously believe that, then you'll subconsciously will do everything in your power to give away the money, or you'll lose the money, because it's literally your nervous system, your energy protecting you, staying comfortable. It's what you're used to. And a lot of you might think, but how? I don't see a way how I'll get more money, like current job. But that idea is keeping you stuck, because abundance is not only money, it's the breath, it's the air you breathe, it's what you drink, it's the roof over your head, it's the connections with people you know. It's what you eat. It's this beautiful view. Just want to show you. Look at that. That's abundance. And if you start feeling that, if you start practicing that, if you start practicing feeling this abundance, noticing how grateful you are for that you can breathe, that you woke up, that you are eating something. When you see someone truly feel how grateful, how amazing it is to be able to greet someone, to talk to someone, talk to a loved one. And this will mirror on the outside. But it first requires for you to take these steps. So yeah, I can give you advice. I can send you money. Also, a lot of people, they think, oh, if I just win the lottery, if I just get that amount of money somehow, if I just find the right investment, start the right business, if all the poor people, all the people without money, they get all the money, and all the people with all the money, they lose all the money, then there will be a different world. But what will happen is that it quickly will change around again. because the creators will stay the creators, the consumers will stay consuming. It's just we're programmed that way, you know? And people's nervous systems, they will feel uncomfortable. You know, how often do you hear people winning the lottery and becoming depressed or committing suicide, losing everything, you know? You have to live it for it to manifest. And you don't even have to, you don't need the external for that, because it's like looking in the mirror. There's something on your face and you're trying to wipe the face to get it off your face, but it doesn't work like that. You have to be it for it to reflect. And that's not the only reason why it's so difficult. I found that it's not only your energy, your nervous system, but it's also your mind. Because your mind has all these negative beliefs, these negative definitions programmed in. And when you, as soon as you want to change, like intellectually, you might think, oh, but I deserve this and I am this and I am that. But then your mind will bring you thoughts to say, no, look at this, and it will make you very, very scared. And why does it do that? Why does it make you scared? It's not because it's evil. It's not because it wants you. It does that because it wants to survive. Those beliefs, those beliefs of lack, the only way it can survive in you, in your mind, is for you to fall for it. It's for you to believe it. Because once you let it go, once you see the truth, once you put your light of consciousness, your awareness, when you put it there, on that shadow, on that negative belief, because that's what a negative belief is. It's a shadow. It's something that is false. But because of your distortion, you don't want to look at it because you might be scared that it's actually true. So uh, uh, you don't want to look there. But when you actually start investing, start digging inside of you, you'll discover you didn't even make that up. You probably got it from your ancestors or from something you picked up somewhere, and you were just dragging it. Those negatives were somewhere in the basement. So this is also how you know that the more scared you get and the more scary it looks, the closer you are. Because that means that you're actually looking at the shadow. And a lot of you, when you look at the shadow, you'll get scared. And you'll be like, no, let me stay comfortable here in my room. There's so much more out there. So much more out there. It is really beautiful out here. Thank you.